Hey, today we're going to talk about dotted rhythms. They're actually pretty simple, really. Basically, what happens if you add a dot to a note is that it extends the value of that note by half of the original note. So, let's for example have a look at, say, a minim here. So a minim is usually worth 2 beats, okay? But then if we add a dot to the minim, it becomes 3 beats. Alright, let's have a look at the crotchet for example. So a crotchet is worth 1 beat. Let's say we want to extend that by half, we add a dot to it and it becomes 1.5. Alright, so where that gets a little bit tricky is, for example, if we have a look at the quaver here. So quaver is normally worth half a beat. So if we add a dot to a quaver, it now becomes 3/4 of a beat, which is pretty tricky. Let's have a look at some examples and it'll make a little bit more sense. So, if we're looking at this top line here, basically what we have is dotted crotchet, quaver, dotted crotchet, quaver. So that rhythm, if I count you in, would be 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The tapping obviously is where the beats would fall. So if we have a look at the second bar here, you would have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So all up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Awesome. So let's just have a look at this last one here. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and these are the notes that we're going to focus on a lot more a little bit later down the track. So what we have here are dotted quavers followed by semiquavers, dotted quavers followed by semiquavers. So it looks a little bit tricky in theory, but in the piece that we'll be doing, there's a lot of repetition. So if you just get used to the pattern, you should be completely fine. So a quaver is normally worth half, but because it's dotted, it's worth 3/4, and the semiquaver is worth 1/4. So all up, this equals 1 beat. So what you end up with, if I count you in nice and slowly, is 3 and 4 and 1E and R, 2E and R, 3E and R, 4E and R. So pretty straightforward, try clap that. 4E and R, 1E and R, 2E and R, 3E and R, 4E and R. So if you try it a bit quicker, it sounds like this. Awesome.